So the physical part of the nature, you know, when you see a picture like this, you say, yeah, I know what the physical is. It's the material body, right? Simple. That's it right there. But for one thing, so you know, we've been watching the Olympics lately, right? And the other day I heard a competitor say that the Olympics is 90% mental and only 10% physical. So a body like this is supercharged with vital power and mental will. It's not purely physical. It's a high-functioning physical, vital, mental hybrid. It's already a blend. Okay, that's one thing. For another thing, Sri Aurobindo says that the physical consciousness itself isn't just the physical body. It includes, that's the physical body. It includes the physical vital, which is the nervous being, and the physical mind. So already we're seeing those blends of consciousness we were talking about. But at base, the physical principle is anchored in matter, whose main characteristic is inertia. Matter is immovable, unchangeable, stable. And Mother says that the consciousness of matter is so dull and unresponsive, it gives the impression you could wait millions of years and nothing would change. So in its natural state, our physical being shares the material tendency to be resistant, obscure, unwilling to change, and closed to the higher consciousness. And in fact, the physical being is associated strongly with one of the three gunas of nature. Guna, of course, means quality. So the three gunas found everywhere in nature are tamas, the quality of inertia, rajas, the quality of action, and sattva, the quality of balance and light. So the physical is permeated with this guna of tamas, which expresses as dullness, weakness, narrowness, limitation. And fatigue, inaction, procrastination, slowness, incapacity. That's tamas. So have you seen this cartoon? So the deer on the left has a giant target on his chest, and the one on the right is saying, bummer of a birthmark. Okay? So tamas is a bummer of a guna to deal with. You know, all that awful sludge and incapacity. But if your sadhana has come down into the physical, you're going to have to deal with it. And you are going to be appalled at yourself when this happens, because you'll suddenly realize that you're worthless. You'll look at yourself and you know you are a loser as far as this yoga is concerned. All your aspirations are unattainable, and yes, you are a miserable failure. And furthermore, you realize that realistically speaking, things aren't going to change. They're not going to get any better. Basically, if you want to be scientific about it, if you want to take off your rose-colored glasses and look at things as they really are, you'll understand that there's no hope for you. You're going down. You're doomed. So this kind of discouragement and pessimism in yoga, of course, is characteristic of what Sri Aurobindo calls the tamasic ego, which infuses the physical being. And what's more, and especially when the vital is not actively supporting your sadhana, you may find when you come down into the physical consciousness that you have no energy at all. You can hardly move. You're stuck. You're paralyzed. You feel like you're sinking into cement. And everything is dull and dark and heavy and oppressive. You hurt all over all the time. Your head aches, your muscles ache. You can hardly think, and you certainly can't answer email. And in fact, it seems the only thing you can do is binge watch TV on Netflix. So you might say, well, snap out of it, get a grip, pull yourself together. And that's fine if you're in the mind or in the vital, where there's lots of willpower to do that. But when you get down into the physical consciousness, you become inert. You have no initiative. And it feels that the action of will is impossible. And in fact, Sri Aurobindo says that weakness of will is due to the influence of the physical consciousness. So, when you're in that consciousness and run into obstacles, they look insurmountable because the physical in its normal state is inertly moved by external forces, but finds it hard to move on its own. It doesn't believe that things can change. And if it does believe things can change, it thinks they're going to change for the worst. The physical, it's like the physical mind is always disaster-oriented. It has a sort of morbid imagination that always foresees catastrophes. Because this physical mind, the mind in matter, was formed under the pressure of difficulties and suffering and struggle, which is what it took to awaken the obtuse consciousness of matter. But it's this defeatist material mind that the cells of the body obey. So, if you develop some physical problems, or maybe an illness that looks a bit worrisome, here's what the defeatist mind starts saying. This defeatist material mind starts saying, this looks bad, very bad. This could really be serious. This could be the big one. This could be catastrophic. You could be on the way out. Maybe you don't have much longer for this life. So it gets hypnotized by this incredible fatalistic fear that makes everything worse because, as we said, the cells of the body obey this defeatist physical mind. So, no wonder you're feeling freaked out when you're waiting for those lab tests back from the doctor. Okay, it goes all the way down to the cells of the body, down to matter. Okay, so you might say, hey, just call in the spirit, bring down the higher consciousness, and that'll take care of everything, right? Oh, you're in the physical consciousness. We're dealing with the body and the physical mind here. And the physical mind, which rules the body, is an atheist. To the physical mind, higher consciousness is smoke and mirrors. It doesn't believe in anything except matter, objects, external events, and whatever seems materially real at the moment. And even if you have had spiritual experiences, the physical mind will conveniently forget them. On the other hand, if you do experience a strong descent of divine force that eliminates all spiritual doubt in your physical mind, you may find at the same time, while it's happening, a massive bedrock of negation and pure physical resistance in the matter of your own body, saying, no, 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 this is too much for me. Stop. I can't bear it. So that is the materialism of the physical mind and the utter resistance of matter. So one last observation before we leave the physical. Remember, Sri Aurobindo says that the physical consciousness includes not just the body proper and the physical mind, which we've been talking about, but also the physical vital, which is the nervous being. The nerves are in the body and support it. So if the nervous being is calm and strong and solid, the body is well supported and can withstand or more easily get rid of illness. But if the nervous being is jumpy and weak and unstable and oversensitive, like some people I know, named Lynda Lester, the body is not well supported and you'll be more subject to adverse physiological disorders, fatigue, illness, and even accidents, like, this poor guy down in the corner. Boom. So all these material deficiencies and vulnerabilities, obscurities, and resistances come from the same cause, that pesky separative ignorance which has cut off the physical consciousness from its divine origin. On the other hand, Sri Aurobindo says, although the resistance of physical stuff is always heavier and less intelligent than the resistance in the mind and the vital, the work done in us by this slower movement is in the end more complete, solid, and durable. And if something is definitely gained on the physical plane, there is a more lasting and complete fulfillment. And remember, consciousness can still move from the surface of our being, where it's limited and constrained, to deep within, where it's larger and freer and more powerful. So deep within each of us, in the subtle physical part of our nature, there's a true physical being which is harmonious and beautiful and filled with latent possibilities, which, if they could manifest, would mean a remarkable progress in the physical nature. And physical training can awaken some of these latent possibilities and make the body solid, healthy, skillful, agile, strong, and more receptive to the higher consciousness. And Mother says the body, when disciplined and awakened, can do so many more things than we think. Calm and quiet, strong and powerful, strong and poised. At every minute, it will be able to put forth the effort demanded of it, as we see here. Yeah, so we can do so many more things than we think when the body has been awakened and trained. But still, increasing the capabilities of the body through training and exercise is insufficient for the transformation we seek. What we really need to do is to bring the physical nature under control of the psychic being, which we'll talk about shortly. But if we do that, and if we combine it with training and exercise, we can make the physical a marvelous instrument for the expression of the spirit. So now let's move on and say a fond goodbye to the physical.